Hey folks, it's Tommy Frugal Prepper. I know it has been a few weeks since you have seen any videos from me. It's been kind of crazy. I've had, well, both my in-laws have died a month apart from each other. So it's just been kind of a real rough time, and things aren't quite back to normal. And it's probably going to be a while. Plus, I got real sick there, and now I think I'm catching a cold again. Hopefully this one won't be as bad as the last one that turned into like pneumonia. But I just want to do a little quick video. I was thinking about like food storage, and I was thinking about how I started with food storage and probably some mistakes that I made. Now, there's a couple different ways to go with food storage, and there's your emergency supplies. And then there's your day-to-day food storage, your daily pantry. Your daily pantry stuff is stuff that you'll just use, that you can get on sale or get cheap, that you're just going to use as you cook dinners and stuff like that. And it can be stuff that you grow yourself, apple pie filling from free apples off my sister's apple tree. It can be, green beans from the garden. But you want your daily pantry to also probably include stuff you buy at the grocery store that stores well, that you're going to use within a year, right? So your pastas and dry goods and things like that. And that's kind of where I started, and it's not necessarily a bad idea. But I think if I was to do it over, I would start a different way. And Miami Prepper kind of said this in more than one of his videos. And I kind of like, yeah, whatever. But it makes a lot of sense. If something really bad happens, if you're reading on the internet, you're getting into prepping, and you're thinking, when you first get into it, there's kind of this, oh my gosh, an EMP could happen tomorrow, and I wouldn't be prepared. I just got to get some stuff, get stuff. And you go into this getting stuff mode. It's important to control that. And not buy too much stuff at once. But just look at what's most likely to happen just in everyday life would be a natural disaster, something like that. You might not be able to get to the grocery stores for a month, 2 months. Floods, hurricanes, things like that. You should have some stuff put back, and you should probably do it as quickly as you can and as cheaply as you can, because hey, we all got money problems, right? Some people have problems with too much money, not me, but most of us have problems with not enough money, especially in this economy. We had a war on terror, we ended up with more terrorists. We had a war on drugs, and we ended up with more drugs and more of a drug problem. So I'm really hoping that next year they're going to come out with like a war on money and a war on jobs, so that we'll have more money and more jobs than we know what to do with. Anyway, I would say to start, you want to get dry goods like this: barley, beans, rice. These things aren't great. You can keep some spices on hand, but they store for a long, long time. And a lot of your spices, when they're vacuum sealed, will store for a long, long time as well. You see hanging up in the back here is a Mylar bag that fits in a 5-gallon bucket. Go online. I get mine from a place called American Emergency Supply. They have real good prices. Get 4 or 5 of those. I also see them at gun shows all the time, so that would be a good place to pick up onesies, twosies of them. Go to Lowe's and get you a bucket and a lid with a gasket. And you can reuse these lids. If you open them, take the ring off, they'll still snap back down. And then you put your bag in there, you fill it up, and this particular one has got white rice, lentils, peas, barley, pinto beans, pasta. I've got garlic pepper, chicken soup base, and beef broth. And then I've also got 22 LR, 380 ACP, 45 ACP, 12 gauge, 16 gauge, 223, and 25 ACPs in here. So I stick a little ammo in my buckets in case I'm grabbing them and heading out. I got some ammo in there. And that will just be a box of 50 of each is what that would end up being. Um, and like I no longer even own a 380 or a 25 or a 223, but 223 is a very common caliber to trade. But hey, they're in there now. I'm not gonna worry about it. Ammo's only gonna get more expensive. I put everything, all the food in the Mylar bag. I seal it. I'll put a video below where I sealed up some oats. By the way, don't buy those particular oats I did in that video. I've kind of been debating whether to take it down. They didn't turn out so well. They got like the husk still on them. But I bought some other rolled oats once that were feed that didn't. And so I thought these were the same way and they weren't. But if I ever need to feed a horse, yeah, I'm set, right? Yeah, we gotta take care of the horses, especially after an EMP. But you do this, you put back this bucket of food. I mean, you could stretch this out to a month for my family. You know, the thing is when you put water with all these, they expand like crazy. There's way more there than you think. Maybe not quite a month, right, for 3 meals a day, but a couple weeks for sure. Maybe cutting back. But you could do a couple of these buckets pretty cheap. You wouldn't have more than, $100 in it. Probably not more than $50, right? Maybe more than $50. But now you can pop that open. You can mix up some rice and some beans and throw a little chicken soup base on it. Sprinkle a little garlic pepper on it. And you got something that's edible, that has calories and can sustain life. I say this is where you start with your food storage. Get a couple buckets, 3 buckets, 4 buckets like this. Put back in a closet. And this stuff's going to stay good for like 20 years, man. It's just going to stay good for a long, long time. And then you can... it's not like when 20 years comes, you can inspect it. You might inspect it at 10 years. If some stuff's getting stale, use it, put back another one. If not, seal it back up and go. As long as you leave some room at the end of your bag, you can reseal it and reuse it. And you've now got food insurance in case something really, really bad happens. And it's not something that you have to worry about rotating and using. So the adage of store what you eat and eat what you store is very good advice for your daily pantry as you move forward with food storage. But it's okay to store some things that you wouldn't normally eat for emergencies. You just don't want to invest a bunch of money in it. And you want to make sure that they're very long-term storage items so that $50 or $100 investment is going to last you for years and years and years. And it's not a big investment if you divide it over 20 years. And it's not like you can't use it once 15, 20 years comes around. Pull it out, use it, donate it to a pantry, give it away to friends, put back fresh stuff, right? And now you've got some emergency supplies. I also like this because you can pick these up and go. Now, I have some buckets that are stored all corn, all beans, all rice. Okay, and those are fine. But these buckets that are mixed stay at the front. There's a couple by every exit, every closet. So that I can grab them. I write grab and go on the top of them. They got some ammo, some food. Because the last thing I want to do is get interrupted loading my car up and have to leave right now and discover I got 2 buckets of salt, right? I want to have some variety first. I can throw the other buckets in if I have time and room, but we'll get the variety buckets first. So that's just some thoughts on how I might change how I started doing my food storage. Is do that first and know that you've got some emergency food. Then you can calm down and relax about the end of the world. And you can wait for the specials to come and go to the grocery store and stock up when stuff's half price. And work on building your pantry. I have an excellent video. I'll try to put a link to that at the bottom below too on how having a food pantry saves you money. So that's just some of my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think. And I'll try to get some more videos out soon. My garden is a complete and total loss. I haven't touched it in a month and a half, 2 months. Other than picking some tomatoes. That grows a groundhog back. He has eaten the potatoes, the corn. It dried on the stalk, man. I didn't even get a chance to pick it. Like I said, there's been dust in the family. It's just been a lot going on. and it's been just gardening's the last thing on my mind. I'm not going to worry about it. It's no biggie. I have plenty of food in storage to make up for it, and I will have a nice garden again in the spring. So that's it for now, folks. I'll talk to you later. Everybody, be happy and frugal out there.